Well, hello everybody, and welcome again to another episode of Facts and Fatherhood. I am your happy host, Demetrius, and I'm so glad to be back with you here today for episode number 3. Listen, if you haven't heard me say this, I'm telling you, you're going to hear me say this all the time. I apologize for my voice. I'm working through a few things today, but if you haven't heard me say this, you're going to hear me say this often. I had a job that I have been given the opportunity to do, and that is I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy to be able to share with you. I am happy to be able to be a part of your life and be a part of your world. Thank you for spending time with me. Okay. Today, we are going to talk about affirmation. Okay. But before we get into this affirmation, before we get into talk about affirmation today, to be really quick, I don't want to give you a whole little distance. We try to keep it as short as possible. We have some great things that are going to be coming up. Facts and Fatherhood podcast. And I only started this podcast because I didn't feel like I have the answers for everything, but I felt like I could say something that would help someone along their journey of fatherhood, whether you're just starting off as a new father, whether you've been doing this for a little while and you're like an older father, or you're somewhere in between, or you just want to be a father, you're looking forward to being a father one day. Hopefully the things that we share on podcast will be helpful, will be beneficial to you in some of the greatest ways. So with that being said, of course, this is December, and I told y'all every single podcast that we have the month of December, because my dad's birthday was December the 12th. Every single episode that we have, we're going in December, we're going to dedicate to my dear old papa. So just sit back for that.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in
Well, y'all, that was him. That was him, Mr. Prentice Edward Wilson. My dad, he departed us in 2019, and we miss him. But just wanted to have that dedication to him to just share just with you how much of a great impact and the legacy that he left. He left a legacy word, and that is why one reason to get this word right this time. This podcast, I think I'm going to be able to get it right this time. I am unapologetically based from the scripture. This is the principles by which we live, and we believe that everything works according to how the Father has designed for it to work in his word. So we believe in the scriptures, we hold fast to that. And so I present the things that I present about Father. I utilize the principles found in scripture to relate to my children, to raise my children, my wife and I. And we just really are grateful to the Father to have had the opportunity. I'm telling y'all, I believe my children are some of the best people on the planet. Did I say perfect? No, but they are some of the best people on the planet. My favorite people. My wife and my 3 children are my favorite people. I think that's okay. So anyway, I'm grateful to them, and you're going to be seeing them on some of the upcoming episodes that we're going to be having for Facts and Fatherhood. We're going to have a family edition, and you're going to have my wife on with me. You'll see the children on. You'll see them on individually, then you'll see them on together collectively. And I also have a daughter in love that we'll probably try to get her to see if she'll come on and share with us a little bit. But nevertheless, I am so excited about the opportunity, like I said, that I have to be with you. And I'm also excited about the opportunity to share with you that you are going to be able to have a little tool in your hands. Listen, you are soon going to be able to get your hands on this little tool right here. You are going to get your own book really soon. Information. You'll be hearing more information about it. So just look forward to that, because we are excited about that book coming out. A little bit of tool that I think is going to be very helpful, very, very beneficial in you as you are making your journey of fatherhood. All right. So I'm so excited. So grateful again to be patient. Okay, before we go into the reality and all that stuff like that of what affirmation really is, okay, or before we go into explaining the reality of how important affirmation is, I wanted you to be able to get, let's say, sort of a textbook definition of what affirmation is. Okay, to get a textbook definition affirmation is. Affirmation is one of the things that I found of my 2 favorite definitions of affirmation. It is as a positive phrase or a positive statement or phrase that can help challenge negative thoughts, boost self-esteem, and encourage positive change. For example, someone can say, I am successful. Or someone can say, I am confident. They are all affirmations. They're pretty much self-affirming, saying that I am successful, I am confident, all those kind of different things like that. But I want to talk about affirmation from the aspects of this definition. A word of encouragement. It is a positive word or phrase that communicates appreciation, respect, and or love for someone. Okay. Positive phrase or statement that creates that communicates respect, love, and appreciation for someone. I want to encourage you, Dad. If this is not a practice of yours that you already do, because here's the reality. A part of our job is correct. We have to correct, right? We have to, when things are not right, when the children are misbehaving and all those sort of different things like that, we have to get in there. We have to provide correction. Correction is a part of what we do as parents. Okay. But here's the thing. We can't make the mistake of always just bringing up to the child what they are doing wrong. Now, watch this. I am not speaking as an expert. I'm speaking from the reality of something that I had to learn. I had to learn that my children, they really wanted to hear positive words, positive things from myself and my wife. I know but I'm speaking to dads. This podcast is for dads. So I knew and understood that I needed to really be able to affirm them, because again, remember, as we said in our other podcast the last time we shared on episode 2, and I encourage you, if you haven't seen episode 2, go back and look at episode 2, go back and look at episode 1 if you're just not because brand new. But I'm saying in that last episode, we talked about the reality of how the father provides identity for his child. Right. And the last thing you want your child to do is the last thing you want them to do is develop a negative perception, a negative perspective of themselves. You don't want them to be discouraged about their ability. Right. You have to correct behavior that is not right. You have to get in there and you have to make sure you have to manage and correct the behavior that is not right. Okay. But in that's not right, I don't want you to think that that is all to you. Okay. One of my favorite passages that deals with this specific aspect is in Ephesians chapter 6, verse number 4. Okay. Ephesians chapter 6, verse number 4. Yes, I'm going to bring scripture. I'm going to read the scripture. Yes, again, we believe in the principles of the word. All right. Your King James Bible says, fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath. Right. But here is what this says in the scripture. It says, fathers, do not irritate children and make them. Now, we're going to unpack that in another time on another different subject. But right now, we're speaking as affirmation. It says, fathers, do not irritate your children and make them fool. Instead, raise them with the Lord's and guidance. Raise them with the Lord's kind of discipline and God. Raise them right with the right kind of discipline and guidance. I was delivering a message at our fellowship. I think it was last week. And one of the things I said is this: correction must be done correctly. If I don't do correction correctly, correction becomes brutality. Think about that for a moment. I want to make sure that I'm firm in my correction. I want to make sure that I'm clear in my correction. I want to make sure that it is clear, that everybody understands that. I want to be able to share that. Your behavior was unacceptable. Did not appreciate that behavior. Okay? Want to make it clear. I am not saying that the behavior did. I'm not saying that you got into the trouble you got into. I am not saying okay. What I am saying is that although the behavior that you exhibited was not okay, or since we understand behavior that you exhibited was not okay, I need you to understand at the end of this conversation, you are better than that. I need you to understand that I have full confidence in your ability to make proper decisions, to think about your actions before you take them. I have full confidence in you making better quality decisions. And that means we're not going to have to continue, right? Because when correction must also include affirmation. Correction must also include affirmation. If it is done correctly, correction will include affirmation. It will be, I know that you can do better. All right? You agree that you can do better. That you to walk away from this conversation knowing that what you did is not okay and we should not be having this conversation again. But I need to affirm, even in my correction, I need to affirm that you can do better. That what you did is not who you are. I'm not going to see you in the light of what you've done, the mistake, the error that you made. I'm not going to see you like that. Okay, I am going to see you as a person who has the capability. The reason why I'm disappointed is because I know you have the ability to do better. Okay, that's correction. But outside correction, it is a beautiful thing to practice affirmation to your children. Now, I want to do this with you. I want to practice affirmation with you because a lot of us probably grew up without experiencing affirmation, right? Some people, they do it in different ways. They say, yeah, I'm proud of you. I told my children I'm well pleased with you. Okay, we'll talk about where it came from another time. But I would tell my children, hey, my wife and I, we adopted that. We tell our children, hey, we're well pleased with you. Okay. And what this came from us really recognizing and seeing that there was a need for us to be able to give positive reinforcement, especially when they did, perform behavior. Sometimes we would hear people tell us, "Oh, your children are so well behaved." We would hear this even when they were outside of our presence, weren't with us, doing what they were supposed to do. They were behaving, all those kind of different things like that. There were people who knew us parents, and because they knew us as parents, they're paying attention to how they're behaving and all that kind of stuff. And so often we would get those, compliments from people about their behavior. And so we made it a point to tell them, listen, I want you all to know that although you have to get in trouble sometimes, we have to spank you sometimes, although we have to get to your case sometimes and all different things like that, you know that I appreciate that you guys actually take the time to think about your behavior and you watch your actions and you are behaving well even when you are not in our presence. I thought that was really huge. I thought it was a big thing. Okay. They smiled really big a lot of times whenever we talked about that. But I tried to make sure that we offered them affirmation. Okay. I'm going to practice with you. Okay. I'm going to practice this with you. Listen, Dad. I want you to do this. I want you every single day to start with affirming yourself. I know we had to grow up without affirmation. Okay. A lot of us did. Okay. But I want you to change that. I want you to change that narrative. I want you to change that direction. Okay. And when I'm talking about affirmation, I'm not talking about new age and all the kind of none of that stuff. We're just talking about the fact that we need to speak. We don't need to speak negative. So we're not talking anywhere are. So that you need to you are so that you can affirm who your children are. Okay. So I need you to practice this with me, Dad. Every day I need you to tell yourself, look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am a good man doing the best I can. Say it again. I am a good man. I'm doing the best I can. All right. You need to affirm the fact that you are good enough to do this job. I want you to keep it. Our last conversation was about how much you are. I don't want you to forget that. You remember that. Okay. I need you to remember that you are needed, and I need you yourself. You are a good man doing the best you can. I am a good man. I'm the best. Now, that means even if at the moment you're not doing your best, you keep telling us you do on improving and you keep on getting better. All that can be asked of you, be better than today than you were yesterday. That's all that can be asked of you. So here it is. After you practice affirming yourself, okay, I want you to do some work. I want you to tell your children how much you think of you are with them. I want you to tell them about the positive things that in them, the things that you want to reinforce, things that you want to see more of in them. I want to encourage you to talk about them. Talk about the good grades. Talk about the athletic ability. Talk about the drama club. Talk about the music and all they're in. Talk about their science fair project, saying, do all you can to positive. It's going to have negativity come generation, especially in our time. Negativity somehow is a badge of honor. Okay. So I'm encouraging you, Dad, okay, to do whatever you can to positively affirm the identity to positively affirm good attributes about your children. Well, you want dad is getting you ice cream. Dad is getting you ice cream because he thinks you are one of the best people in the world. There is nothing you can do that will make me be more well pleased with you. You are a person. Tell your children, free sing, tell them as they grow. Tell them what you think of them. Tell them the positive things you think about them. Because then again, when it's time for correction, okay? One of the biblical principles that we learn that has to be spoken in love. Truth, love, or truth spoken without compassion is cruelty. So I need to be truthful. Okay, I need to be honest. Need to be firm. Need to be direct. But I also need to be. You can do it. I don't want you walking away from me discouraged. I don't want to provoke you to anger. I don't want to provoke you. I don't want to irritate you and bring you to the place and to the point, where you are resentful. No, I want to positively affirm the great individual that I know you are. Okay, Dad, we're going to do this. Listen, I'm not going to go into anything else. I'm going to leave you with that homework. And I want you down up under this video. I want you to just make some about your response. Okay, make some comment your response to positive affirmations, to you speaking something. We are going to affirm our children. We are going to show that they don't. My daughter is not going to be swayed by somebody saying she's beautiful or smart or any of those. You want to know why? Because she heard it from her dad. Okay, it's not going to be easily by people who have positive things about him. You want to know why? Because he's not getting his affirmation from the wrong source, getting his affirmation from the right source, which is his father. All right. So that's your homework. Let's go and affirm our children today. Find your son, find your daughter, look them in the eye, take them for some popsicles, take them some ice cream, take them for some pain, and tell them you are a great person. I am so grateful and happy to be your dad. You're going to do it? Again, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe to the Facts and Fatherhood. We've got more coming up. Okay, you want to be a part of what we have coming up. We're going to have some segments. We're going to have some conversation with dads. We're going to have some. They're going to be talking about the things that they've experienced, and hopefully our conversations will be so positively reinforcing to you that you will be encouraged to be like me, and you too will be able to say, I love being a dad. All right, let's go, man. You are a good man doing the best you can. Today, affirm your daughters and affirm, and let's see how it goes later on. The Facts and Fatherhood podcast, episode number 4. Join us on this journey. See you later.